Howdy y'all, and welcome to the third part of the SOFC Educational Workshop Series. Today, we will be covering how to reconcile your SOFC accounts. Before we begin, please scan the QR code on your screen so we know who's in attendance for this presentation, both in person and online. My name is Ethan Walker, and I am the Graduate Assistant over in the SOFC in charge of Learning and Training Support. As we go through this presentation, please feel free to ask me any questions, or refer to the contact information at the end if you have any questions after the presentation is over. Let's jump right in and cover exactly what reconciliation means. Reconciliation is the process of comparing two sets of financial records to ensure their agreement. Essentially, reconciling your SOFC accounts means comparing your internal ledger to the online statements on Get Involved. Reconciliation will be complete when all outstanding transactions have been accounted for and the reconciled balance on your ledger matches what is shown on Get Involved. As you reconcile your ledger with the statements online, you must go through each item to make sure that the amount, date, and vendor have been entered correctly for each transaction, as well as ensure that you haven't missed any entries. We'll cover this more in detail on the next few slides. In simple terms, you must match the transactions from your ledger to those posted on the Get Involved statement. Simply go through each transaction to make sure that the amount, date, and vendor have been entered correctly. Notice how on the example Get Involved statement and example ledger, each date, detail, and amount align. As such, the ending account balances will match between your ledger and your online statement. Although in the previous example, every transaction matched between the ledger and the online statement, there will often be discrepancies between the two. This is where the fun begins. Completing a reconciliation is like a puzzle, in that you must determine where the variances lie and adjust your internal records to match the statements online. There are two main types of transactions that can cause a variance: entries on your ledger that aren't recorded in Get Involved, and entries in Get Involved that aren't recorded on your ledger. The next few slides will cover some important lingo and explain how to reconcile these discrepancies. There are two important terms to cover when considering what kinds of transactions may not appear on your Get Involved statement: deposits in transit, also called DITs, and outstanding checks. DITs are any income your organization receives that has not yet been posted to your SOFC account. These could be checks you deposited at the SOFC or merchandise sales made online, among others. When reconciling your account, you must add these amounts to the online balance to reflect the discrepancy. Likewise, outstanding checks, also called outstanding items, are any expenses your organization has paid that have not yet been posted to your SOFC account. Examples include invoices that have been signed off. Unlike DITs, you must subtract these amounts from the online balance to reflect the discrepancies. If you have entered every other transaction correctly, your online balance will match your internal ledger balance after adding the DITs and subtracting the outstanding checks. The next two slides depict examples of the two types of transactions. The following images reflect a deposit in transit for merch sales on March 13th for $21. Notice how the total income between the Get Involved statement and the internal ledger has a discrepancy of $21. Thus, when you add the $21 DIT to the Get Involved statement, the ending account balances will match. Likewise, the meeting space rental recorded on March 30th is not recorded on the Get Involved statement. There is a $200 discrepancy between the online statement and the internal ledger, which corresponds to the $200 payment made for the rental. Thus, when you subtract this outstanding item from the online statement, the ending account balances will match. To help with your SOFC account reconciliation, your organization can fill out the reconciliation worksheet posted under the Forms tab on the Student Activities website. Simply fill out the ending account balances of both your online statement and your internal ledger and record all the discrepancies in the form of DITs and outstanding checks. An example reconciliation worksheet is shown on the next slide. At the top of the reconciliation worksheet, fill in your organization name, account number, and month that you are completing the reconciliation for. Then enter the statement ending balance for the month of the reconciliation. This ending balance can be found on Get Involved. After filling out this information, record all DITs from your ledger, organized by the date deposited. Next to the line, Total Deposits Not on Statement, add up all your DITs and add them to your ending balance. Next, record all outstanding items, characterized as reimbursements or payments, by date, vendor, and amount. Then add up the total outstanding balance on the line next to total reimbursements or payments not on statement, and subtract them from your ending balance. After accounting for your DITs and outstanding items, your reconciliation balance, printed on the next line, should equal the balance on your internal ledger. Once your account balances match, your reconciliation is finished. If your organization is under an audit, you must have your financial officer or advisor sign off before turning it into the SOFC. Otherwise, you may keep this document for your own records. Note that you must also attach a copy of your internal ledger if you are turning in an audit to the SOFC. If your account balances still do not match after accounting for all DITs and outstanding items, you must go through each transaction to ensure they were entered in the correct month and for the correct amount. Additionally, make sure that there are not any transactions on your Get Involved statement, such as credit card fees, that have hit your account but are not recorded on your internal ledger. Finally, make sure the beginning balance matches for the period you are entering for. If you have any specific concerns when completing an account reconciliation, feel free to contact the SOFC for personalized support. If you have any questions about anything that I've covered in this presentation, or any other questions about how to use the resources at the SOFC, please refer to the contact information on the screen, as well as our office locations and business hours. Thanks, and gig 'em!